Well, a very good afternoon. Welcome to the weekend webcast for Saturday, the 6th of March. Very happy weekend to you. Hope you're doing okay. New microphone this week. Would very much appreciate a signal report somewhere in the chat. But welcome along. Thanks for joining us here on a Saturday here at Mars and Lynch and Sons. I'm Jonathan, M0JSX. Got a few items in front of me as we normally do on a Saturday. In fact, how we did on the something for the weekend video yesterday. So I've got a few products I'm going to show you as well. Some of them were in the email that we sent out with some for the weekend. One of them wasn't, but it's kind of linked. So I'm going to do that. I was going to show you some used. We've got the shelves are once again heaving, so we're going to have a look around the used shelves as well, and might grab Gary in as well. Gary wasn't supposed to be working today, but he's popped in. He was walking past the front door, so I might grab him to briefly talk about some of the questions we get on the Elad Duo art, which I mentioned in the video that got published yesterday. He says he's getting a number of questions about it, so I might grab him in a little bit in order to just to go through a few questions there. Afternoon to Terry, to his RIPK, and to Barry as well. Hello Barry, and to Bruce, and to Granville, MW7 FRN, and to Nick, and to Derry, who's patiently waiting on his FTDX10. Yet they are due in very soon. They've left the factory. They are en route to us. Just things taking a little longer than before 2021. Can't quite think why. Afternoon to Paul, and to R as well, who says I'm 5'9" into crinkly bottom. Is that where Noel Edmonds was? Is that Crinkly Bottom? And good afternoon to Jib and to Paul. So good afternoon to everybody. Let's start with what we got in front of me. So on the Something for the Weekend video that went up yesterday, and also in the Something for the Weekend email, there was a BHI speaker, which is very nice. It was the SPKR. We've still got a couple left in stock, and more on the way from BHI. But I had a question today on email from a guy called Jeff, who said speaker looks great, however what happens if it's not loud enough? I've got an unpowered speaker already. I appreciate the fact that BHI has got the noise blanker, but I want just something that's I want a bit of amplification to my speaker, and I've often thought the same thing. I run HF mobile in the car, and I often find that the speaker that I've got on my 857 it just isn't loud enough when I'm going down the motorway at 70 miles an hour trying to hear a weak station on 40 metres. Sometimes I really have to crank the volume up all the way. Well, then another BHI speaker could be the one for you. This is the BHI LSPKR, or loudspeaker, I suppose. And this is a much louder speaker, I have to say. It's a 20-watt speaker. It's got 7 foot of audio cable on it, and a very impressively loud speaker. So if you want a bit of a louder speaker, BHI LSPKR available in stock now. So that's the item that's related to the stuff that was in the Something for the Weekend email. Here are some items that were in the email that we didn't feature on yesterday's video. I've spoken about these before. These are the Mydell PW100s. Now these are fantastic. I've used one of these in my own shack, and I've also we also use them here in the showroom as well. So under all of our, if you've ever been to the showroom, and even if you haven't, I'm sure you've seen it in plenty of our videos and in pictures as well. We have 3 islands in the middle of the showroom. And we use these to distribute DC across all the islands. Each island has its own power supply, so we use those little distribution boxes so you can keep all the radios powered up. Works absolutely great. They're not too expensive either. They're only just under £30, and you also get a load of banana plugs and a few ring connectors as well. Good price, £29.95 for those. Fantastic. I've just seen a couple of questions. I will come to questions in a moment. Please put your questions in the chat, and I'll get back to them. And the next item, penultimate, you'll be happy to know, is a Microset SR100. Lovely little 100 watt 2 meter amplifier. If you want something just to take your power up to closer to 100 watts on 2 meters, this is definitely worth a consideration. Maybe you've got something like an 817, 818, 705, KX3 even, if you've got the 2 meter module in it. Nice little amp, 100 watts at full chat. You probably only want to run it really 80 watts, to be honest with you, but it does exactly what it says to. Nice large heatsink on the top. On the back you've got obviously the transmitter in, antenna and power. There's also a PTT line input on the back as well, but it will do RF sensing should you wish. It's also quite nice because it's also got a preamp as well in it, so if you're struggling with a bit of loss down your coax, you can click the preamp in, and hopefully that might compensate somewhat. Finally, I want to talk about the Diamond SX400. This is Diamond's 2 meter and 70 centimeter SWR power meter. With its lovely, great big screen. Nice thing about the SX400 is that on the back it's got N types. I know a lot of people get quite concerned about using PL259s, particularly on UHF. Well, N types are here. 200 watts is your maximum. It's got a 520 and 200 watt scale. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Let's have a look. Gary says the audio is a little hot. Rather hot than cold. But I was told, hang on, I was told before I started there is a way to do it. So I'm going to press this button and see what happens. To my, it looks like that hasn't changed a thing. I don't know what that does. I'm not going to touch it again. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it, and I'll just hold the microphone a little further away. Let's have a look. See. Let's see. Johnny, would a DX Commander 10 meter support a standard unknown off-center fed dipole, or do I have to buy an aluminium version? Oh, the question will be what the weight of the unknown is. Generally speaking, the top section or two sections of the DX Commander, much like most fiberglass poles, it's very thin. So it's perfect for supporting wire, but maybe not so much for anything heavier. Maybe from the third section down, so you'd probably be looking about 7 or 8 meters at that point. You're probably going to be okay, but that would certainly do the trick, no doubt at all. Let's have a look. See. Only 20 meter run, 617, 13.5 standard weight dipole. Yeah, I'd say third section down, not the top section. That's what I would say. Afternoon or good morning to Rusty, K6PX in San Diego. Is there a firmware upgrade for the IC7610 in the works? As soon as ICOM tell us, you'll know. We haven't been told about a firmware update for the 7610, but no doubt there is. And afternoon to Ray, 20 MXN, little 8 on parade. Say no worries at all. Let's have a quick look around what we've got on our used shelves at the moment, because I know this is something that a lot of people tune in specifically for, is just to see what we've got in used. We do have here a IC 7800. This one is boxed with, and you can see it's got the panels mounted on the side. It's on the website at 3,999 at the moment. I'll have a look at my audio in a minute. I'm using a new microphone this week, and I was told a button on it did something, and I'm not entirely sure it did. So I'm going to there you go. Let's have a look. See. So here we've got a couple of FD450Ds. I believe they're both boxed. Of course, 450D, you don't need me to waffle on too much about it, do you? Oh, right, I will. It's, of course, 100 watts out on HF and 6 meters. It was my first HF radio that I bought with my own money. They were used by the DXpedition to Christmas Island a few years ago at Tango 32 Charlie. When the container ship that had all of the 1000 MPs disappeared, they took 450s. I'm sure you know the story. They made over 250,000 QSOs just running 100 watts out of 450s. Nice, nice clear, bright screen on them. Very competent internal ATU. You can see £599 available in our used section. We've also got the very last brand new FT450Ds in stock. So if you're after a new one with a full 3-year warranty, we do have the last stock anywhere in the country. ICR 8600. This is, of course, ICOM's SDR based wide coverage communications receiver. Obviously with the box there, $14.99. It's absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people who are very happy with their R8600s. I remember seeing it for the first time at Hamvention in 2017 when Martin, Dan and myself went out, and we saw those for the first time, and we just sort of fell in love instantly. John, our resident scanner and communications receivers expert, regards the R8600 very highly, of course. Most of the digital modes on board, as well as that very wide coverage, almost DC to daylight, as they say, as a boxed. And I believe it is supplied with the AD55 power supply as well. Another 450D. We're very lucky to have another 450D. ARDV1, if you want a sort of smaller digital voice receiver, this is potentially the one for you. All the modes, including DMR on here, £999. They're a fortune new now, so a very competent little radio and box, as you can see, again with the power supply in the box. What else have we got? We've got a TS480 SAT, £899. That's, of course, the 100-watt version of the mobile. Got IC 7699 £. This is, of course, ICOM's. I suppose it's ICOM's kind of answer to the 857 from Yaesu in many ways. HF 62 and 70. Nice thing with the 7000 is that lovely colour screen. They look great mobile. There's I know a few people run the 7000 mobile, and if you can get hold of the separation kit, they are like hen's teeth now. But if you can get hold of one, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. TS590SG. This is, of course, the update, the ever popular 590 series, which was the successor to the very, very popular 570. The 570 was the first radio I used. £1,099. In fact, we've got a couple of them at the moment. Give us a call. I'm sure we can do something on that. You know the phone number, 0345 2300 599. Let's have a look what else we've got. Oh, okay, we've got an IC 9700. I'm sure you know, but in the last week, ICOM have launched the firmware update for the 9700 as well as the 7300. In fact, I think that may have been just over a week ago now. But if you've got a 9700 or a 7300 and you haven't done the firmware update yet, it is worth doing. This 9700 box, as you can see, with all the accessories inside, yours for just $14.99. So you're going to save yourself a few £100 over what you'd pay brand new for one. Just have a look what else I can show you. You've got an MC60A just sat there. One for the sort of the older receiver lover, the AR1000 from AOR. Ray says, I wish you'd keep the camera a little steadier. I'm not a cameraman, Ray. I do apologise. I know I'm not the world's greatest cameraman. That's why I'm not allowed to shoot the ones for something for the weekend. Daiwa CN620, £55. Nice one. That is a kilowatt SWR power meter. Nice one. Gary's coming. Are you going to take the camera, Gary? Gary has taken the camera for me, so I don't have to do it. Thanks, Gary. That's much help. Actually, I want to speak to you in a moment because I want to talk to you about the Duo Art, if that's all right. We'll do that in a moment. Final one I'm going to talk about, ARDV10, £699. I know it's just a box, you can see, but we can open up the box. I've now got a free hand in order to do it. So I'll just open up the box and see if I can pull out the DV10 that's inside. Lovely handheld receiver. Builds on what AOR did with the DV1, available in our U section right now. Lovely. Gary, do you want to come over here and I'll talk to you about trying to keep the camera steady. Please do keep the camera steady. Otherwise, Ray will be very disappointed. Right, come in this way. Gary.
Yes.
AOR Duo Art.
Yes.
We've currently got the 120 watt amplifier in stock.
Yes.
Now, you were telling me that you've been asked a couple of questions about this recently.
Yeah, I have. I've been asked whether or not it will work with the 705 and stuff like that. Now, I understand that it will work with other radios, but the 705 at the moment, they're working on some firmware, I believe. So it's basically, that's news sort of, it's all happening basically. So there's no promises, but they're just looking for the right sort of pin out and how to address the 705 for that particular amplifier. But they are working on it. No promises that it will ever work, but it's we do get asked that question quite a lot. So there you go.
Work in progress, then.
It is definitely work in progress, and I like your microphone.
I like the microphone too. I feel like Martin. I said this yesterday. I feel like Martin Brundle when he's on the pit lane on the Formula One. I am just wanting Lewis Hamilton to come around the corner so I can ask him about his latest contract.
I know. I've been playing with that iRacing as well.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like Martin Brundle.
Very good. Anything else you want to talk about while you're here?
Kiwi SDRs.
Kiwi SDRs. So there's complete kits. Tell me about the complete kit that's now available.
Yeah, we now do a complete kit. Basically, one box gives you the hardware, the beagle bone. It's got the software all built in, so it's all ready to go. So you don't even need to put the card in it. You just put it together, put it in the case, and away you go. So it comes with the main board, the beagle bone, and also it comes with the power supply and case enclosure. So you get everything you need in there to get it to work.
Excellent. And so just for those uninitiated like myself, Kiwi SDR, it's a web-based SDR solution.
Yes, it's community based. So basically what you do is you can, I think it used to be sdr.hu, but I don't think it's that anymore. I can't remember what the web address is. I'll try and find out and get them to put it in the link in the description below. But basically you go to a website, you can actually then completely operate your SDR via a web browser. So it's really, really good fun. But best of all, you can share it. You can have up to 4 users actually using it at the same time.
Oh, fantastic. Let's have a little. Let's have a look at the questions. Rusty saying firmware upgrade to the 7300 and 9700 made significant improvements to both radios.
Which one?
7300 and 9700
Yes.
firmware updates.
Yeah, huge benefits for that because you quite like the 1 kilohertz.
I quite like the 1K steps. That's when I did that on the 7300, and then I just accidentally knocked the multi encoder and it started changing the frequency. It was why didn't they do that before?
Brilliant.
It really was. And in case you didn't know, Gary, there's a new firmware update for the IC705 as well.
I haven't put it on mine yet.
There's a new firmware update for the 705.
Yeah, brilliant. A new one.
A new one.
Right, okay.
An update to the update.
All right, brilliant.
That's available as well. Thanks very much, Gary.
I'll go back to if you want to go anywhere else.
You'll be ready and raring rather. Brett says, "I've heard you moved away from me, Jonathan. Was that really necessary? You could have just bought an attenuator instead. I hope there's a Waitrose near your new place. There is a Waitrose near my new place actually. And yes, I've recently moved house, so Brett, don't take it personally. I know I always joked about needing a new S meter when you came up, but no, don't take it personally at all. Let's have a look. See, there's a few other things there's a few other comments I've missed in there. Afternoon to Chris. He says, "Good afternoon, Jonathan, ML&S." Hello, well, Chris is saying hello to you as well, Gary.
Hello, Chris.
There we go. That's that's Chris G1JXS. Tom AE1TP and A92GW says, "Cheers, gents from Bahrain. 17 metres open today. Excellent. Working stations into Wales from portable. All the best. Thanks very much." And someone called the Gaz Lab. Yeah. No, I hear it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's Gary. Saying that the 450 and 950 are fabulous for digital modes. Actually, Gary, come back in. Yes. 450 digital modes.
Yes.
Or a 950 digital modes.
Yeah.
Basically, any radio or any AC radio that doesn't have a USB port, how are you going to get data into it?
Well, I've got 2 favourite ways of doing that. There's one which is the Yaesu offering, which is the SCU17. And the good thing with that is that it will give you cat control in most cases as well, which is really, really handy, especially if you're doing things like FT8. You don't need to muck about with anything. The other way of doing it I quite like is the RigX I think it's Rig Expert, the Advantage. I quite like that as well. It's a bit more money, but you do get a bag of like little spiders inside it that you can use on any radio that you ever have, and it can go in either. You can buy a cable to go into the rear of the radio or in through the microphone. And it's a reversible cable, and you can still connect your microphone at the same time if you want to. That's a nice option. The SCU17 is a cheap way of doing it. Works really well with the 450. You don't need any extra cables. No. That works really well. But the 590 has got everything built in. I love that.
Is the 590 your favourite radio for doing data with?
Yeah, I think so. I think I quite like that. It's a good radio for doing that. It's also quite nicely priced.
Okay. My favourite is still the 7300.
All right. Well, that's
easy. Or 705. Yeah, 705 is nice and easy.
Yeah, I do use the 705 for data.
You've turned into a bit of an FT8 nut with your 705, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it's Richard actually that gets me into that.
He does. He's a bad influence. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's a bad influence.
Thank you, Gary. Ray says, have you any Icon remote software, VFO remotes in stock? And how much would Tony be likely to knock off? I don't know how much Tony would knock off, but yes, we have got them available from stock. That's the RC28 with the RSPA1 package. And in fact, there's an update to the RSPA1 that the version 2. There's an update from that from Icon as well. Gary, yes. Would you pick up the camera? Because I think we should go and have a look at the B stock items over there before we wrap up. For today, and we've been going for a little while, I'm thinking, so we don't want to be going on too long. I like this wireless mic thing. This is why haven't I done this before? This is our B stock pile at the moment. Please ignore the light panels, which will be going up in the ceiling at some point. But this is our current B stock. I say pile. Gently placed pile. 705's got a few 705s in there. That's worth looking if you're after a 705. If you're thinking about going QRP or portable, then look at the 705 in the B stock item. Save yourself a bit over what you pay brand new for one. We've got MFJ 993B, the automatic antenna tuner from MFJ. Those are quite hard to get hold of brand new at the moment, so we've got one in B stock at the moment. The RF Explorer W sub 1G, if you want to walk about and see where you've got some interference on a particular spot frequency and identify where it is, the RF Explorer range is fantastic. And W sub 1G, if you're going below a gig, is absolutely brilliant. And we've also got the standard 6G as well. What else have we got here? 8100 Pro 2 from LDG. I use one of those in my 7300. It works a treat. We've got a mini VNA Tiny, as well as an FT3. All of this is on the B stock. So if you've never found B stock on our website, if you go to the used, there's a link in the top bit underneath. I think at the moment it's Tony's video, but if you underneath the video that's there, there's a link to the B stock, and you see all of these items, including any tone. What's that? 878 standard, not the one without the Bluetooth, and a TMD 710G as well, which I absolutely love. I love a TMD 710. With the built-in GPS, we'll do APRS just natively on its own. Fantastic. Oh, and an FTM 300. And what we've got down here as well, we've got a 7610, is that? Yeah, looks like we've got a 7610 as well as a MAT 40 by the looks of it. MFJ 891 and an MFJ 994B. Again, all on the used site. John Power, or JP as we call him, keeps on top of our B stock section. And he keeps it nice and up to date. So that is well worth looking at. Right, I'm going to go back over there. Gary, if you go back over there, and we'll sort of wrap it up for the day. Let's have a look. See, Derek says, good afternoon, all at ML&S. Afternoon, Derek. And question coming, are you still delivering new kit to Northern Ireland? Yeah, absolutely. Northern Ireland is no problem at all to deliver to. We are still shipping out to Northern Ireland. In fact, we're still shipping out worldwide as well. There's no changes in regards to new kit to Northern Ireland. The only difference to Northern Irish customers is regards to used, where something called the margin scheme, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of VAT law, the margin scheme no longer applies to Northern Ireland, which means that we now need to charge 20% VAT on used items going to Northern Ireland, which is does unfortunately inflate the price a bit. but there's nothing we can do about that. So if you are a Northern Irish customer and you're looking at used, just bear that in mind, that the price you're going to pay is 20% on top of what you see. But UK, it's no problem at all. Right, that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. There is a podcast going up in the next couple of days with myself and Gary that we recorded last week. So that'll be going up. And on a podcast very soon, we're going to have Arved, our young ham who won the FT991 a few weeks ago. We'll have him in an upcoming podcast episode as well. Don't forget, something for the weekend mail out on Friday. That happens every Friday, and there's a video to go along with it. I'm not entirely sure who's doing it this week. Might be myself, might be Martin, might be Tony. And then, of course, another weekend webcast next Saturday. Next Saturday, I'm off, so it'll be Tony sat in front of a camera. As far as I'm aware, anyway. Could be Martin. Right, thanks very much for now. Thanks very much for watching. And, of course, if you've seen anything you like in the used section or in the B-stock section, you can find it on the website or give us a call 0345 2300 599. Until next time, bye-bye.